Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? I'm just going to move myself back a bit so I don't cut my head off. Fanny's here. Suli Menines is here. I don't recognise the username. Let us know where you are viewing from, Suli. I'm just going to move that back so I don't cut my head off like this. Let's give people a few minutes to join, folks. Good evening. I've got a special bit of, well, not a special Periscope as such tonight, but something I feel hugely passionate about. I want to talk about. Ruth is here. Ruth, great to see you. Someone else joined just before Ruth. I missed the name, but like I said, we'll give people a few seconds to join before we get going. How's your week been? For those who don't know me, or for those watching on the replay, my name's Ross. Oh, it's Kat. Saw you, Kat. There you go. Great to see you, Kat. I want to talk about something that you'll relate to tonight. Hello, Ruth. How's everybody's week been? For those who don't know me, like I was saying, my name's Ross. I scope twice a week now. It used to be 3 times, but I release a podcast now on a Friday that people can get, which I hope you subscribe to. Nina, good evening. So Periscope on a Monday. Do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks, which is what we're doing tonight. Wednesday, we do a book club, all on things that are going to have a hugely positive impact on your life, positive change, how you can become more motivated, more productive, more in control of your life, get further in your life faster and in your career as well. Helen Power, she's got the power, always do that for Helen, she's here, great to see you, Helen. And then on a Friday, guys, I released the first episode of something called 5 to Thrive, which is a new podcast I release every Friday. It's just 5 to 10 minutes long, and it's just a piece of inspiration that will be tied in either to do with your mindset, your physicality, and the acting industry, because a lot of people, I'm an actor, by the way, I didn't mention that before. Hello, Mary, good evening. And it's, if you're an actor, it will help you, but equally, if you're not an actor, the kind of lessons in those podcasts will be applicable to anybody in any part of your life, any area of your life. Anyone with any career on the planet will be able to relate to it. So tonight, guys, I want to talk about something that I'm really passionate about, and we've spoken about this kind of thing on previous scopes. I've got no slides tonight. It's not really super planned. I'm just freestyling because I want you guys to join in and tell me your experiences of this too. So yesterday, I get an email from a very talented actress who has been for a meeting with a pretty big, established London agent down south. Won't mention any names of who it was or who the agent was or anything like that. And this actress goes down to have a meeting about representation, or so she thinks. What she ends up being told. No slides, Ruth. She's going, what? No slides? No slides. This is super interactive tonight. I want you guys to chip in and talk to me. What she gets told, effectively, would destroy any normal human being who wasn't in control of their mind and, who didn't have a fire in their belly. She was basically told pretty much that, this is insane, that at 29 years old, just 29, very, very, very young, in the grand scheme of things. At 29 years old, if this actress hasn't already had a really established part, Mary says too old, if she hasn't already had an established part on TV or hadn't been to drama school and been plucked straight out of drama school into something and been kind of nurtured for the last 10 years or whatever, that she now stood pretty much slim to no chance of ever getting a decent supporting role and pretty much zero chance of ever getting a lead role. Other things that were told to this actress, which is just, absolutely insane, was that pretty much that, if she hasn't been to drama school, you can pretty much write that off unless you want to go now. It's not too late. That people prefer getting people plucked straight out of drama school. Where does that leave me? Exactly, Nina. This is mental, but this is why it's so crazy. And so she was told that, if you haven't been plucked out of drama school and kind of moulded into what they want, no, not due to, well, I guess it kind of was, due to age, what she was saying there, Mary. Mary said, was that due to age? But yeah, she was basically saying that, at 29 years old, so late to the game, even though this actress had been working since like 17, 18, 19, at this career, that if things hadn't happened for her now, by now, then there's very little chance of things, big things happening in the future, and that she should be really grateful for any little parts that she's got now, or just starting out right now, but basically don't expect anything to happen. Also said things about headshots that I completely disagree with. Said that a headshot doesn't matter what you like on your headshot, just look at the camera, snap, there you go, that'll do, doesn't really matter. All kinds of things that are just honestly, from my experience, and I can only talk about experience, but are absolute bullshit. And what this really is a show of is of someone else's massive lack of belief, kind of like in themselves in the past. Would love to know who this. It wasn't a casting director, Nina. It was an agent. But yeah, what I think this is this person has either been mentored by somebody who has held these opinions in the past and has pushed these limiting beliefs onto them. So they've worked with them and mentored them and said, this is how it is. So this person's honoured their limiting beliefs and taken them on as their own. I bet it's rife. It is kind of rife, this kind of stuff. Or what's happened is this person has been an actress herself at some stage. It has all gone pear-shaped for her. She's not been able to, get anywhere. And then she's formed these limiting beliefs she's now pushing onto other people. And really what it highlights, and what I want people to be really aware of, that is, it's not just, when I say in a lot of scopes, that one of the worst things you can do is take bad advice from other people and take advice from people who aren't qualified to give it, is don't just assume that if someone is if a person is in a position of power, that they are, in a position to give out, advice as well. Because some people are really irresponsible in the way that they go about giving this information out to people. And if this girl at 29 didn't have more about her, would probably have just crumbled, gone, this is it, forget it, I'm gonna give up. And I've sat in, guys, and not auditioning myself, but I've sat in assisting casting directors on some of the biggest dramas in the UK, sat in with some of the biggest executive producers in the UK, in these production companies, during these auditions, and I can absolutely assure you that all they are rooting for when somebody walks through the door is that they are a great performer, a great actress. And it's exciting for them to pull people who haven't had massive success yet and go, oh my God, where has this gem been for like the last 10 years? Why do we not know about this girl yet? Why do we not know about this guy yet? Who's this person who's in their 40s and 50s? We've never seen them before. Where have they been hiding all this time? Because they're phenomenal. Gemma, good evening. And that's really all they care about. Of course they need the big stars to trigger the finance for the project. So you do need your Olivia Colmans, your who else, your John Sims, the chap out of oh God, he seems to be in everything at the moment. Tom Hollander? There's actors that are going to trigger finance and get things commissioned. So yeah, of course you need those people. But people below that, the really good supporting roles, the slightly irregular roles, it really doesn't matter whether these people have been to drama school or not. It doesn't matter what age they are if they look age appropriate. I've seen people who've been cast in the role of like a 19-year-old at 26. It doesn't matter. They're just interested in literally, the best performer for the job. On Twitter, there's an anonymous actress who shouts out female casting calls enough to make you weep. And I can give you guys so many examples of people who break every single opinion that agent gave. Okay, a great friend of mine, everybody knows, Rob Collier, plays Thomas in Downton Abbey. He's just been given an offer of a brand new lead role in a brand new ITV drama. I don't think it's been announced yet. But he started off when I was going to acting classes with him in Manchester. He got his first part in Coronation Street at like 34, I think. Had never been to drama school, never trained in his life. So Coronation Street, great. But, in this agent's opinion, probably would have been like, well, that's as far as you're going to get. You're just going to get a recurring serial like that. You won't be able to go and star in bigger things than that. Started in Downton Abbey for 6 years, made an absolute fortune out of it, got, really, really, accomplished as an actor during that as well. And now he's getting straight offers on the table. Completely he's 40 now, completely breaks all of those opinions that person said. I found out today, so people will know I was in a drama last year called Don't Take My Baby. It was written about a guy who's got the same eye condition as me. I've got an eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa. It was written about a guy with the same condition as me. I went up for the lead, went through audition process after audition process, was like so close to getting it, was too old for the role. Jack Thorne, the writer, lovely, lovely man, wrote me a part in it anyway as a bit of a consolation. Awesome guy, forever grateful to him. The other lead, who was playing opposite the guy who eventually got the part I was going for, a great actress called Ruth Madeley. She's I'd say physically less able. I'm not going to say disabled, I don't like that label. She's in a wheelchair a lot of the time, has spinal issues, has had a lot of operations on her back, that kind of thing. According to this agent, I'm sure she'd have gone in and the agent would have gone, well, late 20s, you're less able, you're kind of going to be less able for the, to be seen in parts here and there, you're not going to be able to go up for everything. If you've not had established by now, if you're not had an established role by now, forget it. First major TV role was in this thing, Don't Take My Baby. I found out today, she messaged me, she's been nominated for leading actress at the BAFTAs. She's up against Sheridan Smith, up against Saran Jones for lead actress. The drama itself has just been nominated for best single drama at the BAFTAs as well. Had that girl had that conversation with that agent, which was utter bullshit, she probably would have gone, oh my god, I'm facing so much against me, I might as well not even bother. Now she's up against the best actresses in the country for a BAFTA. If she doesn't win it, doesn't matter, a career will still, come on leaps and bounds purely from that accolade. Other people, so I recently had on for a live broadcast on Act on This TV. That's an acting site that I run, guys. The new version of it should have launched yesterday. Me and the developers are like at the wire. It's going to launch tomorrow. I promise you, by tomorrow evening the new version will be launched and it looks sweet. But I recently had a broadcast with an actress called Annie Wallace. Fantastic actress. First transgender actress to play a transgender character in a recurring soap. So she's in her 50s. She transitioned from male to female at 30, has worked as a jobbing actor for the last 20 odd years. Obviously, she's not a stereotypical looking, lead actress by any means. She's very character kind of actress. Amazing, comical, hilarious woman. She's just a brilliant, brilliant person. But I know had she been to see that agent, she'd have gone, oh, well, 50, you don't fall in the regular bracket. If you've not had success by now, you might as well give up. She landed a massive contract in Hollyoaks. She's going to be in that show. I think she's just had a contract renewed for, I don't know, a good 12, 18 months, something like that. She's already been in it 6 months. So she's going to end up probably with 3 or 4 years minimum. Doing a job she absolutely loves, getting paid lots of money to do it, working with lovely people. The family at Hollyoaks is just an amazing cast and crew to work with. And she's waited till she's in her 50s to do that. Equally, I know there will be people out there who have probably had this kind of thing happen in their 60s and their 70s, and had these people taken on the limiting beliefs that other people in the industry, supposedly in places of responsibility and power, these people would have given up long, long ago. So ultimately, I just want to kind of hit home again that if you don't form your own empowering beliefs about yourself, about what you're capable of, and you just throw a couple of fingers to these people who are just gonna, try and shoot you down, probably because they've had negative past experiences that have instilled limiting beliefs into them. So it's not their fault. They're not bad people. They're not terrible people. But they're just, they're limited by their past experiences. So maybe this agent was an actress in a past job. It all failed for her. She went, I'm going to go into agenting. So also I'm going to take my experience as that's the way it is, that's the way the industry works, and I'm going to force that onto every one of my clients. I would not want to be one of her clients, trust me. Shame though, something so huge and amazing to knock you sick. It is, it is a shame that people are limiting themselves and their clients, like I say, like this as well, because I would imagine that every female on her books, they won't know she probably holds these beliefs, but I wouldn't want to be on her books if I was a female over 30, because she's effectively written my career off if I've not had a lead role in Hollywood by now or whatever. It's really dangerous, and people in those places of responsibility need to be really careful with the way they go about dishing out this advice, which they're probably thinking is for other people's good and benefit, but it's actually just really, really negative. And there's a real difference between being realistic and being utterly defeatist. And there's times, and I always say, why be realistic? When has realistic ever got you anywhere? There's times where we do have to have a certain degree of realism in our lives. Like I say, I'm not going to be an astronaut now or a F1 driver. Okay, I'm not going to be a professional footballer or whatever. Do you really think that was a one-off agent? Many agents similar-minded. I think, you know, it's horses for courses. People, right, do you know what, it doesn't matter. Agents, casting directors, actors, whoever you are, everybody is a human being, okay? I know a couple of agents who are up themselves as ridiculous, says Nina. Power can go to people's heads sometimes. But ultimately, everybody is a human being, okay? And none of us act randomly. We're all susceptible to the same things. Our brains are wired the same way. A policeman is not superhuman. He's just a human, okay? An agent is not, you know, the be-all and end-all of the acting industry as a casting director or a director. These are just human beings, and they're people who react to situations by fulfilling certain needs of theirs. So if they've got bad, you know, previously negative experiences of a certain situation that have led themselves to limit themselves in their life and their career, they will feel that those beliefs, when we, I'll comment on that in a minute, Sam. When we believe something, what we're saying to ourselves is, I feel, I am certain that that's the way it is. That's when you say, I believe in something. You're saying, I feel, you know, I am certain that that's the way it is. And your beliefs, as we know, can either be empowering, where they will make you, you know, move forward and push on forward, or they will limit you and scare you. And previous and past experiences that are negative form limiting beliefs that unfortunately people keep part of themselves potentially for their entire life if they don't deal with them. So something you're told at school, you know, that limited you when you were 10 can still limit you when you're 60 if you don't deal with it. You know, I mentioned elephants being trained when they're babies only need to be tethered to poles this high out of the ground, and they'll struggle against them for a bit, and when they realise they can't move away from the pole and they can't escape, they give up. When they're adults, they still only need to be tethered to a pole this big because they see the pole and they form this limiting belief 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that when they're attached to that pole they can't escape, so they don't even try. So we're all susceptible of that, and there'll be beliefs that you have about yourself, your ability, why you can and can't do things that have been formed way back in the past. And if you don't deal with that, you'll be limited by that the rest of your life. Listen to a casting director today who said we actors should treat them as colleagues and not elevate them. Brilliant. Exactly, because we're all after the same thing. A great final product, a great performance, a great show, a BAFTA nomination, an Oscar nomination, whatever. We're all after the same thing. So we're all team players, and there shouldn't really be a hierarchy. We're all in it together. But yeah, you've got to be careful of who you're taking advice off, and this is why I say in life it's really important with who you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with 5 actors who are going to take that advice on, honour that as their own beliefs, and push them onto you, you'll become the 6th person who's having a conversation with another actor down the line saying, oh yeah, well if you're not 29 by now and you've not made it, you might as well give up. So be careful, even when people seem to have authority and seem to kind of be in a position of power or have experience, make sure that you still, you know, do your due diligence and just take on board what serves you. And ultimately, who is anybody to say, no, you can't do this? And it doesn't, and they might be saying, you know what, no, you're not ready to do this yet. And that's absolutely fine, because, you know, that's being realistic. Sometimes we go, okay, well, you know what, the talent's there, but the experience just isn't quite there yet. You need to get better at that. So you're just not quite ready for this now. Not if you've not done this by now, there's very little chance of you doing anything, good luck with that, but you're probably going to fail. It's very irresponsible. So I just want you to let me know, has anybody given you that kind of advice in the past, and have you proved them wrong? Has anyone said anything to you where you've gone, oh right, okay, that would have crushed me, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you that that's not the case, and I'm going to prove you wrong. Like I say, one of the biggest things that I thought would hold me back was my eyes, and I mention this a lot. I've got an eye condition, which means that I have a lot of peripheral vision. I struggle in the dark, and someone says hell, Sam says hell yes, and it gave me the biggest opportunity in this drama that's just been nominated for a BAFTA, and I feel really attached to that show because I consulted on it. I worked with the lead actors to tell them what it was like living with this condition. You know, spent a lot of time with the director and the lead, had a part in it myself. The lead female's up for Best Actress, and the show's up for Best for Best Single Drama. So that's amazing. And yet, you know, that came out of something that you would go, oh well, you know, that's probably going to just limit you. It's not going to empower you. But it's all about how you reframe that and how you see it. So let me know what limiting beliefs have been pushed onto you, and whether you honoured them for a bit and you pushed them away, or whether you just threw them away straight away and you proved them wrong. Let me know. It'd be interesting to to see. Sam, you said hell yeah. So let me know if you want to say what that was. I've got some pond water tonight, guys. I've had too much coffee today. But yeah, I just thought I had to do a scope on this because I'm passionate about it, and it knocks me sick when people, will try and just shit all over somebody like that. I will be proving them wrong, says Kat. Excellent. Guest Jura Colley said, I'd never play sexy, I was too prim. Played Roxy in Chicago recently. Well, Roxy's pretty sexy. Good on you, Helen. Amazing. There's loads of stuff. God, I know so many people who have been put in brackets, of, well, you'll be lucky if this happens or that happens. And all it is somebody else's limiting bullshit being pushed onto you. And they're, and they sometimes don't even want to see you succeed if they failed at what you're striving for. Told the story about my GCSE English teacher failing if I took the higher paper. Oh yeah, got an A. Yeah, exactly. So education, people will have experienced this a lot. Education, teachers telling you, oh, you'll be lucky to scrape a D or a C or whatever, and not putting you in for certain things and that sort of stuff. And they said, yes, they said Sam had failed, got an A. Boom. Prove that wrong. But what I also realised today, guys, as well, why is drama school so important for TV and screen? I'll tell you, drama school isn't important for TV and screen, and I'll say this to any person in the industry. I went to one of the best drama schools in the country for 3 years, and we did 1 week of television in that entire course. I came out of drama school being a great theatre actor, but knowing nothing about TV whatsoever. I had to completely relearn it, and I often thought, what would have happened if I'd have not done that 3 years of drama school and gone straight to a TV acting class run by a casting director or another acting tutor in the area or whatever? Would I have got further faster? Drama school did give me a hell of a lot of confidence. That's the one thing it really brought me was, it was like X Factor auditioning. There was 2,500 people auditioning, 25 places, so 1 in 100 people got in. I didn't get in the first year, took a year out, re-auditioned the second year, and I got in. So it made me feel good, significant, worthy, because I felt, well, I'm 1 in 100. And if these people around me and my peers are supposed to be the best in the business because they're also 1 in 100, I must be all right. I prove fellow actors wrong every day by being super friendly and warm when they said I am not. There you go. Oh, that's great. Absolutely. Should always be super friendly and warm. So yes, the drama school made me feel like I could do it, if anything, because I've already got through, jumped through loads of hoops effectively, or over hurdles. But having been through it, I don't feel that it was absolutely the be all and end all. Untouched and polished, they say. What I found drama school did, Kat, for me as well, is unfortunately churned out about 25 robots. So I felt that we had the technique drilled into us so much that when we all came out and we'd qualified and we got our degrees, that unfortunately a lot of us had lost our initial rawness that had kind of made us stand apart in the first year and made us, gave us our uniqueness. And I almost had to relearn that. I had to almost forget what I'd learned, having had the faith that it would be there in my subconscious, and go back to being Ross. Because after drama school, I felt like I was in the play, but I'd be thinking of technical stuff. I'd be balancing the scene. I'd be playing upstage, backstage, downstage, backstage. Get off. I'd be thinking of the technical stuff. My vocal work, my physicality, as opposed to just feeling the emotion and doing it. So before I went to drama school, I felt I could connect to the emotions and just play the scene really, really easily. I didn't find that as easy when I left. Drama school, we break you down and build you back up again. Yeah, a lot of them say that, but I think they kind of break a lot of people down, particularly kids at that age when you first go, if you're young. I saw a lot of people getting really emotionally battered at drama school, and I mean to the point where I thought some of them were unwell mentally, would be in the head's office crying because they didn't get it. And these people, unfortunately, would also be the people in front of the group who would be like, oh my God, man, I just think this is so amazing. In that exercise we did when we were rolling on the floor, I was so in the emotion, I actually forgot how to walk. Bullshit, you did. And yet, in the head's office at lunchtime, they'd be crying their eyes out, I don't get it, I don't understand any of it. So they were living like a double life. They would try to be something in front of their peers, completely breaking down in front of their tutors. Made people really unstable because performance taps into a lot of past experience to draw on. So people with mummy and daddy issues and stuff as a kid got completely screwed up at drama school. And they almost kind of like, rather than discovering those emotions to use them for good, had them all brought up again, couldn't deal with them, and then buried them. They break people down and they leave you to die or build yourself back up on your own. Yeah. I felt honestly like, I'm not knocking it at all. I had an amazing 3 years, met some amazing people, but I honestly did. I felt I had such a nice grounding at home, very normal upbringing, very normal family, that I could take or leave what was being taught. And some of the stuff I honestly thought, this isn't serving me. All this is doing is serving the ego of the person who's tutoring this stuff. It's not serving me. It's either trying to embarrass me, trying to break me down for something that I don't need breaking down on. Best advice I was given, don't act, just be. Yeah, honestly, I think, Nina, people make things harder than it needs to be. And I released a podcast. So the first podcast, 5 to Thrive, if you've listened to it, let me know. You can subscribe on iTunes, just search for Act on This TV, the Act on This TV podcast, but Act on This TV, all one word. And it's about people being addicted to the struggle. And what I find is that we honour struggle in our community in the UK and in the world way more than we should. We love to tell everybody how much we're struggling and how much adversity we are facing right now and how little sleep we're getting and how hard we're working. So people go, oh my God, look, Ross faced so much adversity and he's come out all right. Wow, amazing. And I'm like, what if we just started to accept and gave ourselves permission that things could be easier than we're allowing them to be right now? What if we just accepted and had faith that things would work out? If we were profoundly optimistic, not lazy, expecting things to come easy in that sense, but just not to struggle against it. And I find that a lot of actors just want to struggle as much as they can to prove themselves. It's on VIP to-do list. Do it, Sam. Great little podcast, if I say so myself. But yeah, what if we just allowed ourselves to allow things to come easier? Gave ourselves permission to allow things to come easier, and also with the expectation that as we get better and more experienced, things are going to be even easier down the line, as opposed to now I've done this, and now I've got to face this challenge, this is going to be even harder, then that's going to be even harder, that's going to be even harder. Every little step along the way, you're getting more experience, so things should, that should aid you, and things should become easier as you go along, not harder. But as actors, we love to struggle, and I think at drama school, tutors sometimes love to see you struggle because they're like, oh yeah, we're putting them through the paces. Look, this guy's completely broken, and yet somehow he's managed to hold it together and put on a performance. No. Why don't we try and enjoy it a bit more? Why don't we try and not take it quite as seriously as we're taking it? We're not running away from bombs in Syria. We're not all dreadfully ill or, facing terrible things in the world, touch wood, hopefully. Why don't we just try and enjoy this industry we're supposed to be in love with, not fight against it all the time? It's a struggle. I'll go out there and I'll get them, I'll fight them, Try and enjoy it. Like someone said before, we're all on the same team and we're all after the same end product. And what I find is the people in the industry generally with the real power and the people who are really successful buy into that philosophy. People I meet at read-throughs, because I go to a lot of read-throughs, unfortunately, I'm not in the stuff. I just go to the read-throughs. Ross, come and read in some parts that you could have had. It's great to be around them. These people are like super, super positive, very they just want the best for everybody, for the entire cast. They want it to be easy. They're not divas. The director, I was at a read-through for Harlan Coben's The Five, starts on Sky One this week, I think. An amazing drama. Harlan's super famous novelist, American novelist. He stood up at the start and he said, guys, every single one of you who are in this room now, big names in this room as well, he says, you are all here for one reason. He says, to make an amazing product, to deliver the best value we can possibly deliver. He says, and I have watched every single audition tape in this room, from the leads to the guys in here with one line. He goes, and I wanted you here because you had the talent, and I've seen it all, and I want to welcome you. He was just like, Harlan, you're amazing. What an absolute legend. Works on the very last shoot day. Great team. Only SA, says Mary. It's a brilliant show. There's a load of ADR on it. It's just so good. You must watch it, guys. It's such a great story and it's shot beautifully. Great people in it. But yeah, they weren't all struggling. He didn't get there and go, guys, you're all in this room because we've got a massive job on our hands. It's going to be really, really hard. And we're going to really struggle against it, but hopefully we'll fight and prove them all wrong. He went, guys, let's accept that, we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. and let's just accept and be willing to feel that, you know, we can enjoy it and have fun doing it and produce something that's great that everybody's going to enjoy. And you find that it's only the people, guys, honestly, it's only the people, the bottom of the pack, who are addicted to the struggle, who are bitter, things haven't worked out for them, who want this fight and want to be aggressive with everybody and are out to just, you know, a lynch mob mentality to just get anyone in the industry who's trying to get one over on anybody. You don't need it in your life. But just be careful, ultimately, of who you take advice from and whose beliefs you honour. Because as the title of the scope says, if you don't form your own beliefs, somebody else will. And that's the case. If you don't form your own beliefs, the media will. You know, outside of the acting industry, if you just follow the news, you know, you will believe everything that the news wants you to believe. And I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists who goes, everything's a conspiracy. But there is a lot of stuff out there that will form your own opinions if you don't want to form them for yourself. Can you get blacklisted if someone, a casting director, doesn't like you? Yeah, absolutely, 100%, Mary. Yeah, that would only happen if, one, you were a dick. Do you think people misinterpret the word struggle versus hard work? Yeah, I'll talk about that in a sec, Sam. So yeah, it would only happen if you disrespected somebody massively, in terms of you went into a casting director's session and were rude or late, did a terrible job, made loads of excuses, embarrassed them, made them look bad in front of their client. As in any walk of life, you know, if you did that at your boss, if you worked in a shop, I'm sure it'd be the same. Other things would be, any other things to get, it's really just that, you know. They're the things that are going to blacklist you. If you go in and you have a bad day, it's very different. If the casting director's seen you half a dozen times and you've always pulled a great performance out of the bag and you go in and you just have a bad day, which we all have from time to time, no, you're not going to get blacklisted then. If you go in and disrespect people, if you're very negative, if you don't leave your day at the door, so if you come in and you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe it, this has happened this morning, you just bring all the energy in the room down and people don't really want to be around you. That can affect stuff. It's very rare, I think. I don't know a lot of casting directors who go, I've never seen you again for a minor mistake. You'd have to do something pretty big. Difficult to work with spreads too. Do you mean word spreads too, Sam? As in, yeah, it's close knit as well. Yeah, if you screw over one person, the news will probably get out there, you know, that'll happen again. Although I am sure there are casting directors who really despise other casting directors for the way they work, and agents who despise other agents for the way they work. Because again, we're all humans and we're all wired the same way. We can't get along with everybody and you can't please everybody. One way to guarantee of pleasing nobody is to try and please everybody. So yeah, there's 7 billion people on the planet, guys. How on earth are you going to please everybody? People are going to dislike you. People will watch these scopes and they'll watch what I've just said tonight. And they'll be like, who does that guy think he is? You know, who's that big mouth or whatever? What credibility has he got? Or let's look at his credits and see his CV. How great does he think he is? I don't think that at all. I just stand up for people who are being abused, effectively. You know, who are being trodden all over. In an industry where that I feel I do have a bit of, not huge authority in, but I have a lot of experience in. Even if it's not massive success on my own part, I've been around a lot of really successful people, and I've worked with a load of people in the industry. So I feel that I am qualified to a certain extent to comment on this sort of stuff, because I just thought that what that agent had said to this actress was wholly false and really damaging if she took it on board. So you won't please everybody at all, you know, and there might just be people who you just, you know, there are some people sometimes who you meet, aren't there, and you just go, I just don't click with you. It's not that there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with me, but we just don't gel. And other people you'll meet and you'll be like, man, I feel like I've known you 20 years. Daniel Edwards, the casting director. First time I went to do a podcast with him, and I went down to his house and he invited us in. Those who've done workshops with him, he's just a character, isn't he? You meet him and you're like, man, I just feel like I've known you forever. Julie Hesmondhouse, the actress, feel exactly the same as soon as you meet her. Other people in the industry, sometimes you meet them and you go, I can't quite read you, I just don't quite know. And sometimes that will build over time and you'll get to really know each other. Other times you just don't gel. But it's because, like I say, there's 7 billion people out there. We can't please everyone, we can't get along with everybody. But as long as you know in your heart of hearts you're a good person and all you're putting out is good energy and you're being positive in the world, who cares? Bloody brilliant podcast with Daniel. It was like 2.5 hours long, that one. It was amazing. Daniel is so cool. Manuel Puro's great for gelling with. I've never met Manuel, but yeah, I only heard good things. Most people I find in this industry, guys, and like I said before, successful people are great. Very, very few people who are successful are horrible. They've got nothing to be bitter about. They've got nothing to be angry about. It's only the people who aren't having success and wish they were, or who have had other people's limited beliefs forced on them, or have had really bad experiences in the past that have formed these limiting beliefs, who will be really horrible. And they're only doing it to get significance and to win back that power that they've lost earlier in their life. With people like that, project positivity onto them, like I say, give them the benefit of the doubt. Say to yourself, look, that person is just doing the best that they can do with what they've got in the moment right now, or whenever it was, and that's okay. That's fine. I wouldn't want to be like that person, so it's cool. And don't worry don't worry about people's opinions of you if they are people who you wouldn't want to be. So if someone's got a really negative opinion of you and doesn't like what you do or whatever, ask yourself these questions. Would I want to be like them? Would I want to have what they have? And what else could we say? Anything like, would I want to have their beliefs? Things like that. And if the answers are like no, I wouldn't really want to be with them, be like them. So I wouldn't swap places with them. I wouldn't want to have what they've got, in terms of their success or what they're doing. And I wouldn't want to hold those beliefs. Then anything that they say to you should just wash off you. Don't focus on these people. We had 10 people the other night, didn't we, on this scope? I had 400 people watching. About 10 people were absolute morons. They were funny, and they weren't being really horrible, like, they didn't know me, but they're putting a load of trolling stuff up in here, and you're this, you're that kind of thing. I couldn't care less about a single one of them, but I pity them a little bit, so I don't care about their opinions. And another thing is, when you're putting yourself out there, people are going to throw these opinions at you, and just say to them, look, well, where's your hat? I don't see it in the arena. So you're not really qualified to give an opinion or give advice out like that. So unless somebody's you respect, they've got what you want, they hold beliefs and values like you, and you're never going to want to trade places with them, but you would go, well, I would like to have what you've got. Don't worry about their opinions. It really, really doesn't matter. So something we could talk about literally forever and a day, but ultimately, the message is form your own beliefs. Otherwise, someone else will form them for you. And that's kind of it. It's a bit of freestyling, quite a lot of waffling probably for 40 minutes, but I hope you resonate with it and you get it, and it makes sense. But I just didn't like seeing the way that this person, at a really established agency as well, had been with this actress who's relatively kind of, not new to the industry, but new to it at that level. Just a really negative way to be. And like I say, I can disprove all of their points with loads of my mates who are having this success, who had they sat down with this person, would have been torn apart way more, faced much more adversity, much more extenuating circumstances, were in much tighter brackets than this person. And from the outside, you would go, chances are slim, never impossible, but are slim that person's going to have, the success that they really, really want. They're going to have to do something remarkable, and they all did. I've been off radar this week a bit. Good to catch up with a bit of general chit-chat. Waffle. Thanks, Sam. It is. Hope she finds a great agent in the future. She will, Nina, definitely. She absolutely will. But just as long as she doesn't honour any of those beliefs and let those beliefs that agent tried to thrust upon her as her own. I'm sure she will. Without a doubt. But agents are very tricky kind of people to find and gel with anyway, because what works for one actor won't work for the other necessarily. I've seen actors in big agencies, and there's been people in represented by people like Curtis Brown, fantastic agent, and two actors represented by the same agent within the company. One has managed to get work with this agent, the other one has struggled. I said struggled. Don't like the word struggle. Remember. Nina, how's your BAFTA campaign coming on? Well, Nina, that's the other thing, just before I go, that I wanted to say. So, Ruth Madeley, the actress who works in Don't Take My Baby, the drama that's just been nominated for the BAFTA, who's now been nominated for the Best Leading Female BAFTA nomination. This was really kind of like her first big job. Okay, and she'd been working, little bits here and there, but this was her first big job. and now she's got a BAFTA nomination up against the biggest actresses in the country, full stop. It will be like me being nominated now for a BAFTA opposite Idris Elba, you know, that kind of stuff. And it was her first job, so guys, you are only ever one job away from something quite remarkable. It can literally be one phone call, you know, one audition, one job that you get that can change your life, turn it upside down. I've seen it happen for 5 close friends of mine. I'm waiting for it to happen to me, but I've seen it happen to 5 people. So Annie Wallace, Rob James Collier, I've seen it happen to Ruth, who we just said there. Chrissy Bone, if you remember, was played Jenna in Coronation Street. Went from a given up actor. She'd given up. She's working for the NHS. Her agent, her old agent, sent her an email and said, "Hi, here's a brief that I think you might be suitable for. Do you fancy coming back to the acting game? You might as well have this audition just in case you ever come back to it." Got 3 years in Coronation Street. Now he's back in the acting game, working top theatre, doing a great job of stuff, doing her own shows. Amazing. Transformed her life. Another mate of mine, I reckon, is on the verge of that. It's a guy called George Bukhari, who's a great actor. He was a couple of years below me at drama school, Asian chap, played a guy called Fat Jason in the car dealership thing, Ordinary Lies. It was great. And since then, he's just gone on to do the A Word, job to job, just doing this Jimmy Savile biopic that they're doing. I think the BBC might be doing, or something like that. And it all came from just one job, where suddenly, unknown to that point, bang, put you in this drama, suddenly you get in with the right people, and there you go. So, you know, on the days where you're feeling like shit, and you're like, God, is this ever going to happen? Just remember that phone could ring any time. And if you've not got an agent, you get on the bloody phone, or get on the email till you've got one, or you get in touch with people, source your own stuff. You know, don't just sit around, be 99% committed. We did that scope, but the difference between being 99% committed and being 100% committed, commit 100%. And that, you know, that job is, it could be hit any time. Was that Jason Manford Compulsive Liar one? Yeah, it was. It was actually really good. And I was a little bit like, Jason Manford, oh God, he's a comedian. Why are these comedians coming in to the acting world? And I was like, oh man, he's actually really good. You know, I didn't want to think that he would be. And I watched it, it's like, he's actually like, you know, I mean, he was still quite comical, like, but he was good. He's very natural. I thought, yeah, fair play, mate, to be honest with you. So yeah, you could only ever, you know, you're only ever that one job away from that BAFTA nomination. Never forget that. Nina, it's coming for you. Did drama at uni? Yeah. I think before he went into comedy. Yeah, he's in Chitty Bang Bang at our theatre at the moment. Well, hasn't he got an amazing voice or something? I'm sure he's like a brilliant singer, or am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? Because I'm like, he's actually a lot more talented than I probably ever gave him credit for when I thought he was just a stand-up. I thought he was just a bit of, you know, kind of like a Peter Kay style stand-up, but without the Peter Kay side of him, like the acting stuff. Yeah, he's a good singer too. It's like when you hear Harry Styles has got a job. Harry Styles, what's he doing now? He doesn't need to do anything. The lad's worth 25 million quid and could just do whatever he wants. You know, he's worked hard enough for that. But yeah, so you're only ever one job away from potentially your life changing forever. So form some empowering beliefs about yourself, guys. Get out there, make it work. I will see you back on Wednesday night. He's been casting something random, amazing. He's going to put bums on seats, though, isn't he, Nina? So he maybe triggered the finance. You're always going to need people like that. One day, we're all that name that gets the finance triggered, and we're just going, next, script, yep, I'll do it. Next, yep, do that. It'd be great. We'll be back on Wednesday for book club, guys. He's on a mission, he says, to get Stoke out of the top 10 crappiest cities, he says, as everyone is down on it that he spoke to. Who? Harry Styles, Sam, or Manford? Reading Jack Canfield's Success Principles, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday night, 10 PM, for another Success Principle from Jack Canfield. I don't know which one it's going to be, because they're all bloody brilliant, and we've got this many. It's a top book, this. Honestly, really, really, like, great book. And I tweeted Jack, and he tweeted me back to say, great, glad you had the book for 2 years and not even read it yet. Manford. All right, you meant Manford, not Harry Styles. So join us for that, and then I'm going to have a new episode of 5 to Thrive out on Friday. If you've not subscribed yet, go to iTunes, type in Act on This TV, all one word, and you'll find it on the iTunes store. Subscribe. The first episode is called Are You Addicted to the Struggle? I think it'll make a lot of sense to you. Second episode, I'm not going to spoil, but it's going to be out on Friday. You can also subscribe on Stitcher. It's another podcast platform. Go to Stitcher and again, search for Act on This TV. I would love it, guys, and you'd be doing me a massive favour if I can get this podcast onto something called New and Noteworthy, which is like an iTunes section for new and noteworthy podcasts. In order to do that, I need people to subscribe and leave a review. So you can just leave a review underneath the podcast when you go to the iTunes page. Log in with your iTunes account, leave a review. You'd be doing me a massive favour. Let's try and get it onto the New and Noteworthy column. That'd be awesome. Do one similar to this and send it to that agent. Says Nina. Yeah, I might do one on something, you know, something similar to this. I'm just like, I'm massive on it. Please don't let anyone else's opinions of the world muddy yours, you know, because that's what will happen. Sometimes people will do it because they love you and they're like, I want to protect you, so I'm going to tell you not to do that because it didn't work for me and I think it'll fail for you and you might get hurt. Bullshit, because it didn't work for them, it doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. I think that agent was probably an actress who it all went wrong for, and then to win her power back and to win some kind of significance back in the world, she went into being an agent. And now she's got all these hang-ups. She's like, well, if I didn't make it by 29, there's no way I'm going to let any other actors make it by 29. This is how it is, because this is how it was for me. Nah, it's different for everybody. We'll get that agent in to do a podcast and then we can ask awkward questions. I'll push to being 100% committed and listen and subscribe and leave a review. Thank you, Sam. Please leave a review, people. I would love it. My agent is coming on for a podcast, by the way, because I thought, I would like to get an agent from a big London agent to come and do a podcast with us. That'd be interesting. Equally, Jane, my agent, Jane Hollywood, she's one of the top agents in the north, really, so outside of London. And I thought I can ask her really frank and honest questions. And one thing I love about Jane, she says it how it is. She really does. Doesn't beat around the bush. She's not negative though. She doesn't shoot you down. Anything is kind of possible. But she's really, really open to just kind of giving her opinion. She was an actress before becoming an agent as well, but she was quite successful. So she's not got the bitterness that other agent probably had if that was the case. But yeah, she's going to come on and do a podcast within the next 2 weeks. So I thought I can open up to her and ask her loads of really frank stuff. And I've got the podcast coming up with David Martin, the casting director, as well, coming up sometime this month as well. If you go to actonthis.tv, look in the blog section, and you will see a blog post on the David Martin podcast. Nothing up for the Jane Hollywood podcast yet, but you can leave questions there now if you want to ask him, a question or anything. He's casting a Henry VIII biopic soon, or maybe at the moment, or maybe he's just done it. I applied to her a couple of times. I went straight out of drama school, and she always got back to me. She's great, Jane. She always did. She did when I was at drama school. I got a lovely rejection letter off Jane first time round. #respect, says Sam. And then I tried again, a year later or so, and went and had a coffee, and we got on really great, and now she represents me. So I will keep you posted on that. So I'll see you Wednesday night, guys, 10 p.m. Be there. Remember, get out there, form your own beliefs. Don't let other people form them for you. Go get them. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.